Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be covering the Boxed Media because I actually have this in hand now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open these up, which I've already done, and then we're going to show you all the inside components of what you get when you buy these in a more of a close-up format. I know you guys have seen the footage that's behind me. I know you guys have heard us talk about it, heard us talk about the coins and all that kind of thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty, and we're actually going to show you what's there. But first up, I'm going to show you something that I didn't actually flip the card over to show you when I did the original filming, and that's the back of some of these cards. Each one of these lenticular cards, for example, Evel Knievel here, when you flip this over onto the back, you're going to have a little bit of information related to the game itself. So it's going to give you some fun facts, it's going to give you when the game was developed, who made it, and basically a description and synopsis of the game. Now, they did this in lieu of actually having instruction manuals in with the games, which was kind of a sticking point for people. So what they wanted to do is to give you a little bit more information with these Boxed Media editions. And the reason we're calling these Boxed Media, this one's biplanes by the way, is because the way these things work, if you're not aware, is there are RFID cards. And what that means is you can just tap it on the console in order to register it with your system and to be able to download the game. It's basically a digital game on a physical medium. Here's the back of Moon Patrol. So as you're putting these things on your system and registering them, you can actually unlink them with your system with the Boxed Media. So whoever has the card and whoever has the code on the back of the card will get ownership of it. And then the next time the next person is online, if they're not always online, that game will be removed from their console. This is Regent Force Redux, by the way. So it's a way of essentially being able to have more ownership and transferability of your digital media, which I think is kind of great. So here's Missile Command. Kind of see that one. Some of these will probably show up a little bit better than others. And here's Dino Blaster. But I think it's a nice package. I think everything that's come with it is nice. The box is really small. They're kind of tiny. They kind of just fit in the palm of your hand. They're really small. They're going to fit really well on the shelf. They might feel a little out of place next to some of your larger boxes. But they're pretty close to, but a little bit shorter than the Switch boxes, but they're a little bit wider. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take a look at this, and then I will meet up with you guys at the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Hopefully, if you do, you'll go ahead and hit the subscribe button, the like button, all that other fun jazz. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. Onto the channel, and as you can see, today we're going to take a look at the Boxed Media for the Amico. Now, this was a pack of 8 that I bought, 1 to support Tommy and 2 to support the console, prior to the console's actual release. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at each one of these, starting with biplanes. As you can see, it's got great art on the front. And as we go ahead and flip it over to the back, you can see that it's 1 to 4 players, has some pictures of the game, and gives you a brief description of what the game is about. So we're going to go ahead and move on to Evel Knievel, which also has great box art, and again the description on the back letting you know it's 1 to 4 players. Next up is Regent Force Redux Enhanced, some of my favorite cover art actually, along with another game that's 1 to 2 players, 1 controlling the orbital, and 1 controlling the ship itself. Next up is Moon Patrol, which honestly I was surprised to see is 4 players. I didn't think it was going to be 4 players. Curious to see how that's going to work out, actually. Next is Fennec and Fox, and this one is also 1 to 4 players. I think this is going to be in the multiplayer maps that they're going to add into this version of the game. The original was only single player. Next is Missile Command, which, to no one's surprise, is going to be 1 to 4 players. Obviously. It always was before. Next up is Brain Duels, and this is 1 to 4 players as well. Last up is Dino Blaster, which is, again, 1 to 4 players. Next up, we're going to take a look at the front of the coin. This is the front of every coin that you get, and then we're going to take a look at the back of the coins. This first one is biplanes, and comes with its own lenticular card. Now, the cards are kind of cool. I'll be moving these around as we kind of look at these and talk about these a little bit. On the back, which I do not show in this video, it has kind of a brief description of kind of how to play the game. And we're going to go ahead and move on through each one of the coins just like this, so that you guys can kind of just see the motion and get a good look at what you're going to get in these if you're so fortunate as to be able to pick them up. Honestly, I think a lot of these look really, really good. I was particularly happy with Evil Knievel's coin. I like the Rigid Force Redux coin. I don't like its lenticular as much. It doesn't have as much motion as I would like. However, it's still a really good looking card, and it has that great box art on it. And then we have Moon Patrol, which I think this coin actually looks really cool. I was pretty happy with this one. The lenticular, the artwork on it looks phenomenal, although the motion in it's a little, not my favorite. It's kind of 3D, you can see parts of it kind of moving out, but nothing absolutely amazing. And then there's Finnegan Fox, always a crowd favorite. I think this coin looks pretty good. I would have liked to see him full size, but it's a great looking coin regardless. But this lenticular actually has some of the best 3D motion that I think I've actually seen. I think this is pretty phenomenal. And then there's Dyna Blaster, and that is a really, really, really cute back of the coin. I think that guy's adorable. And then his lenticular, which actually is really nice. The guy in the forefront actually looks really 3D. The background doesn't really pop as much, but it still does a pretty good job for what it is. Next up is Missile Command, probably my least impressive coin, I think. However, the box art on this one is actually pretty good. The 3D motion's not very good on the lenticular, but then what were you going to do with this particular background? There's not really anything that really grabs you in the picture. Braindill's coin is actually really interesting because there's so much going on. And this card looks very Pixar to me. It looks a little weird in my shot, but it has great motion, which I think is fantastic. I was pretty happy with that one overall. Hey guys, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I appreciate it as always, every single one of you that watch my videos. If you like this, obviously, give it the thumbs up again if you haven't already. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. Please hit the notification bell and select all when you do that. That way you don't miss anything that I post. Otherwise, YouTube will probably tell you nothing. If you're curious about the music that was used, that is by DJC Game Studios. He has released a Intellivision album that is available on his website. I'm going to put the link down below here so that you can see it. If you can't get to it there, I will also have it in the description of this video. If you enjoyed any of this music, please by all means go to his site and buy it. He put a lot of hard work into it, him and his compatriot, and I think they did a phenomenal job. It's absolutely great stuff. If you're a fan of Intellivision, if you're a fan of Amico, if you're just a fan of like game music or homage to game music, I think you owe it to yourself to kind of go out there, check it out, and give the man some love. I know he would absolutely appreciate it. But hopefully you guys found this informative. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time. Gaming.